What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the WarGreymon Rush decklist profile that I used on the channel yesterday, and I will have some more games coming up with it here soon in the next week. But this list is an idea that I got from Just Digimon TCG, my good friend, so make sure you go check him out. And this deck is kind of like a hybrid Rookie Rush list, but it takes advantage of Yellow WarGreymon and Angelmon to make it so you can play out rookies that are going to be more impactful, such as Bushi Agamon and Lucamon. And so that's the general premises of the deck. It's half Rookie Rush, half WarGreymon. So let's just go ahead and get on into it, and we'll start explaining the cards from there. But with the Digitama, we're going to have 4 Pikmon and 1 Upamon. The 4 Pikmon made most sense to me because this is a deck that's going to have 4 or more Digimon on board very consistently, especially when you start swinging with WarGreymon with the Angelmon underneath. So Pikmon's going to be active a lot, and you're going to be able to get a lot of removal off of there. Being able to pair the removal of Pikmon with things like WarGreymon's minus 6k and Starmon's really adds up to clear a lot. And the Pikmon is not a once per turn effect, which means that if you swing with WarGreymon and you have 3 or more Digimon on board, you will get this effect twice, meaning you can give minus 2k. So it just works really well with WarGreymon. And then the 1 Upamon for draw, you want to get that draw. You want to have 5 eggs for sure, no matter what, in this Rookie Rush style list, because you want to be able to promote, hatch promote as much as possible, so you can get those extra Digimon out without having to pay memory to get them. So you want to play 5. I think Upamon's the best 5th egg. Pikmon's a little bit better, so you want to go 4 and 1. But having the little bit of draw is really nice, but you mostly just want to have the 5th egg. So if you think that there's an egg that's better than Upamon, you can put whatever you want. I just like Upamon for the draw. Getting into the rookies, we start off with the star of the show for Bushi Agamon. Now, this card is just insane in this list. Being able to swing twice with WarGreymon, getting 2 checks off that WarGreymon, playing 2 Bushi Agumon, and killing a blocker with the minus 6k DP effect is just super powerful, and what was the general idea of this deck. So it's kind of just the key piece. This Angelmon and WarGreymon are kind of what the deck revolves around, but we have a lot of other great rookies, so that if you don't play Bushi Agumon off the Angelmon inheritable, you're still fine. And we also have a lot of ways to gain memory, so that even if you don't have the WarGreymon, you can do something like Blinding Ray up into a Bushi and have that swing that your opponent won't expect. So this card is very, very valuable in this list. Then we're going to be playing 4 Falcomon. Now, like I said, this is kind of like a Rookie Rush list. It's a hybrid of Rookie Rush, so we want to be playing the Falcomons. This is our 2-drop 5k DP rookie, and so that's going to be very good. It's going to be good versus like Yellow, because they have a lot of 4k DP reduction in Nightmon and WarGreymon, and so being able to have these Falcomons early is going to be really good. And this is going to be your rookie with the highest chance of surviving insecurity, making it so that it can get multiple checks. So you want to play Falcomon. We're playing 4 of pretty much every rookie in this list just for most consistency. So 4 Starmons here. Again, it's a Rookie Rush list. When you're playing Yellow in a Rookie Rush list, you want to be running 4 Starmons in the 4 Spiral Masquerade, because they just work so well when you're going wide on board. And this deck is no different, especially when we're pairing it with the DP reduction of the WarGreymon and the double Pikmon swing from the WarGreymon. So Starmons here, not much else to explain, pretty staple. And then for Pulsman, this is also kind of self-explanatory. Pulsman not only gives you the draw, but it is a pseudo 2-drop, and so since we don't have a lot of 2-drops in this deck, the Pulsman is nice because it's like half a 2-drop. If you have 2 or less secure or 3 or less security, which you are going to have pretty much the entire game with this deck, then you will be able to play Pulsman for 2, so it's a pseudo 2-drop that also is a little bit of consistency with the draw when you need it. So Pulsman's just absolutely insane. You want to play 4. This deck's all about consistency. And then we're playing 2 Salamon and 2 Sukaiman. Now, these cards are effectively the same thing. They have their 2-drops, 3Ks, 0 to Digivolve, level 3s. So the reason I play 2 and 2 is something that I've talked about previously. And since these cards are essentially the same besides the name, and they don't change anything about the deck, then playing 2 and 2 is going to be a lot smarter, because now you're playing around BT1 Omnimon. And although BT1 Omnimon isn't a card that you'll experience a lot, the fact that doing this doesn't change anything about the deck, but makes it so you're stronger against BT1 Omni is a good idea to do. So if you're playing 4 2-drops like this and you have the ability to go 2 and 2, it's going to be a lot better, because we don't have any cards that work off of Salamon or Sukaiman, so they're just 2-drops, and this way we're playing around BT1 Omni. So, and then to top off the rookies, we have 1 Lucamon. Now, this is a card that I've been kind of unsure about in this list. I just wanted to play it because we are focusing on the Angelmon inheritable, so I figured Lucamon's going to be a very good card to play off of Angelmon, get the recovery, get a 10k rookie on board, and it's been really good. It's just kind of goes against the rookie rush strategy, so it's not as auto-include as you may think, and I haven't really had a bad time with this card. It's been really useful when it's been useful, and you have so many other rookies in this list that you never really brick rookies by having this in your hand, so it hasn't been terrible, but it's just, I don't know, it feels kind of weird. So if you wanted to change Lucamon or you don't have Lucamon, you totally could. You could play something like Promo Patamon or maybe just a Lotmon. You could play something that's completely different, but I like the Lucamon here. I've been testing it. It's just that it is a little bit weird. It is a Rookie Rush hybrid deck, so playing Lucamon is a little bit weird, but when you think about the 4 Angelmon and the WarGreymon, it makes a little bit of sense. So right now we're just sticking with that one loose. Then champion time, we're going to have 4 Turriman and 4 Pitomon. Now there's not really anything to say here. The only reason we're playing these are because they are 1 to Digivolve. The blocker is nice, but with this list it's pretty irrelevant because you're usually wanting to Digivolve on top of your champions as soon as you can, so you don't really sit with blockers as much. If you saw my match that I posted yesterday versus the Black Toolbox, you'll see that there was a point where I probably had like 3 of these on board chilling, and so you can see that they do have use in slowing down the game, but for the general game plan of the deck, you are going to be Digivolving over these most of the time, so as much as this is a blocker, it's good when it's good, but they're mostly just 1 to Digivolve champions, and that's how you should usually think about them. Now getting into the ultimates, playing the 4 Angelmon, this is what half the deck is built around. When you have 3 or less security and you attack, you get to play a level 3 or lower, or level 3 yellow Digimon, and so Bushi Agamon, Lucamon, Starmons, all the stuff that you saw will be played off of this, and usually twice with the WarGreymon. Obviously, WarGreymon can die in security or stuff like that, but a lot of times you're going to be getting 2 effects off of this, so you can play multiple Digimon. So you want to play 4. This is our main key, so we want the consistency of it. And then to finish off, we are playing 3 Sirenmon. The Sirenmon is here as just for kind of the same reason why the 1 to Digivolve champions are here, is because it just gets you to your megas as fast as possible. It's a 2 to Digivolve, so it's 1 cheaper, meaning that you can pair the Turriman or the Pitomon with the Sirenmon and only pay 3 memory to get up to your ultimate, which means that you'll still have it'll still be on your turn because you'll gain 3 memory from TK, and then you can go into WarGreymon. So, or you can just hard play it for 5 and have an ultimate out that you can go into WarGreymon next turn. So Sirenmon really helps with this deck, considering that we're only playing 8 champions. So you want to be able to get to these ultimates so you get up to your WarGreymon. So Sirenmon just kind of unbricks the deck a little bit in that it has a cheaper Digivolve, or you can just on-play it. So I found Sirenmon to be really useful. I was playing 4 and 4, but I decided to go down to 3 because we are only playing 4 megas and 8 champions, and so I figured 8 ultimates was just a little bit too much. We probably only needed 7 or 6, and when I was testing 6, I decided to go back up to 7 because there was just too many games in a row where I didn't see a single ultimate. And so now with the 4 and 3 here, I've been finding this to be the sweet spot. I really like this here because you're pretty much always going to get your WarGreymon out with this kind of lineup. And then megas, we only play the 4, as I've mentioned, and we are playing the 4 WarGreymon, our big boss monster. You want to swing, unsuspend, you add a security to your hand, give minus 6k DP, which is usually meant to kill a blocker, and then you'll get a security check, and then you play a rookie from the Angelmon, and that is pretty much the whole general premise of the deck. Obviously, the point of also having a rookie rush side is because if you can't get to this, or if you just have a bad matchup for this, you can always just start playing rookies and start rushing in, and then just have that alternate game plan. And so this deck is just kind of a rookie rush deck that isn't completely one-dimensional like most rookie rush decks are. It does have some more nuance to it, and it has a way better matchup versus things like Lord Nightmon and Green than regular rookie rush does. But WarGreymon really supports all of it. It's the whole game plan of just, like I said, swing, get a check, play some stuff, preferably Bushis, and just go for very fast wins. Now getting into the Tamers, we're playing 2 TK and 1 Purple Kari. I was playing 3 TK, but I found it to not be very necessary. In this list, you don't need to be at 3 memory as much because we have the Kari, which gets us memory, the 2 TKs, and the Blinding Ray, so there's a lot of memory gain in this deck. So the 3rd TK felt a little bit redundant. I was finding the consistency that I needed with the 2, so I just kept it at the 2. And then we're playing the 1 Kari because we have multiple cards that are going to remove security. We have Blinding Ray, we have the WarGreymon, and all of this is going to give you an extra memory. And then even if your opponent just swings in, you can tap it. I've played this in my Lord Nightmon before, so if you followed a lot of my Lord Nightmon stuff, you know why I really like Kari. But if you didn't follow my Lord Nightmon stuff, you can go back and watch my match with this deck yesterday versus the Black Toolbox. And at one point during game 2, my opponent Digivolved for 3 to go to 0, and then swung in, and I was able to tap the Kari to end their turn. And so that's always just something that you always pressure when you have it out there. And if your opponent messes up and misses it, then they just completely end their turn, and they won't get their combo off. So Kari's been very powerful. And when you have a deck like this where you're taking a lot of your own security, I think it's a really nice card to just tech in because you get that little bit of extra memory, so you can extend your turns and all that. So I decided to go 2 and 1 here with the Tamers. 4 spirals, not really much to say here. You want to play 4, it's part of the deck. You want to do this as much as possible. I think this is the card that just wins me most of my games. The fact that I'm able to just play a couple 2-drops after already having 1 or 2 Digimon on board, and then Spiral Masquerade to clear my opponent's board, and then have like 4 rookies on board is so devastating versus pretty much every deck that the 4 Spiral is just insane. I feel like you have to play 4 in pretty much just any rookie rush deck that plays yellow, just because of how powerful and how board swingy it really is. And then to top off the deck, we are just playing 3 Blinding Ray. I decided to go with 3 over 4 just because when I was testing 4, I found it to be a little bit clunky just because, like I said, you don't need to play off of 3 memory as much with this deck because a lot of times you're just playing cheaper things like 2-drop rookies or stuff like that, or just digivolving for 1, and you really only need the 3 memory for the turn where you're going to go into your WarGreymon. So paired with the 3 Blinding Rays and the TKs and the Kari, there's a lot of ways for you to go ahead and get that 3 memory when you need it, but you don't need it as often with a lot of other decks, such as Rookie Rushes do. Most Rookie Rushes don't even play Tamers, so we have a lot more memory going for us there, but the 3 Blinding Ray is just the number that I found to be the best to make it so that you can get to the 3 memory when you need to get that WarGreymon off. But outside of that, you really only just use Blinding Ray to get your security down to 3 to play Angelmon if you don't need the memory. This is a card that could be potentially replaced by like Lopmon as a way of removing your own security, but I feel like the gaining 2 memory is a little bit more powerful than the Lopmon, so I decided to go with the Blinding Ray here. But that's the reason I'm playing 3 over 4, is just because this deck doesn't need as much memory gain as most other decks. Alright, and that's going to be it for this list. Now, this is a list that has been pretty fun for me. It's so fast and so aggressive that most people don't really expect what's going to happen and how fast this deck really goes. So this is a nice little fun deck for you to test if you want to play something like this. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be having Digimon content coming to you all the time. But I hope you have a great day, and peace out.